Hello and welcome to Questions and Answers with Gabor. I am Nurit, speaking to you from Budapest, and today we have Pierre Richard back with us from Montreal. Welcome, Pierre. So nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
After so long. Okay. So Pierre always has wonderful questions for Gabor, so here he is again, and I will bring Gabor, and he will answer your
I just want to say, Gabor, it's so inspiring to ask you questions, and I could go on all day because it's just so inspiring sitting in front of you and getting this kind of feedback for all these things that I think about, that come up in my own practice daily. So this is for me such a treat. So thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome. And I'd like to say that my intention is to be very clear.
Yes.
And so if anything is not or need clarification, please let me know.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So my next question is actually I asked two friends. I asked my girlfriend and a co-worker, a musician in the band, one of the band that I play with. Excuse me. I said I'm going to be speaking with somebody, a spiritual teacher who's had a big awakening. And I said, if you had a chance to ask one question to this person, what would you ask? And they both came up with the same question. And that is, how do you deal with opposites? Here we are talking about spirituality. It's beautiful. I live in Canada. You live in Hungary. They're fairly, wealthy countries, fairly peaceful, good standard of living. How do you deal with that opposed to people who live, today in Syria, with the civil war in Syria, in certain parts of Africa, Middle East, and then you have, terrorist events going on in different places all over the world. And I would even say something that comes closer to my own heart. And I think it's all stems from the same thing. A young woman that I know, that I do very well, 20 years old, was murdered a few months ago. She was working at a supermarket, and somebody came in and slit her throat. Yes. This happened to be the best friend of my girlfriend's daughter. So this was a girl I had seen for the last, since she was 14, almost every weekend. She'd be over at my girlfriend's house with her daughter. And out of the blue, this guy comes up. They had been to high school 4 years before. They didn't know each other that much. They were acquaintances, not more than that. Apparently he came one day and asked her to go out. They didn't even know each other. Asked her to go out. She said something to the effect of, no, I have a boyfriend. Why are you asking this? Go away, whatever. And he came the next night and he assassinated her. So the question is, for me, that is, I thought a lot about it, talking with my girlfriend, with her daughter, with, her name is Clémence's parents. This for me is human madness at the extreme. This case and all other, all the wars you have, all the, the terrorist events that happen, terrorism. It's when you see this duality, this people say, it's me and them. It's us versus them. They're not the same as us. So I think in this young girl's life, this particular man hated women. Sometimes it's gays. In Orlando, I don't know, 50 people were killed because they were gay and lesbian nightclub. You see this all over the world. So, and there's probably no answer that you can give to this. And I just brought it up because my two friends brought it up. And something I've obviously been thinking about myself. And you see this on the news every day. And, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I understand your question.
Yes.
Uh,
Sorry to bring it up like that.
No, we really live in this civilization became what I call civilization. We live like in an open-air lunatic asylum. The human heart have been so covered up for so long that this kind of love awakening is way overdue. And in this kind of society, pre-awakening is very dramatic. A lot of tragedy, a lot of murders, immigration problems, pollution, and the situation tend to show us that in our current level of consciousness, the way our mind works right now, in our current level, on our current platform, there are no solutions. The human history is a total tragedy. I mean, there's wars and wars and wars, weapons and weapons and more weapons. And there's a consistent cycle of, crisis. It reaches a critical point and there is a war. Crisis, critical point, and there is a war. Now, that's relevant for families, relevant for countries, for anything. And we consistently resolve our problems that way. So, the consciousness platform we are on, with this covered dark heart, we can no longer resolve our problems. It's evident for everyone, and everyone is running around trying to look for some kind of a solution. There is no solution. The way humanity is right now, in the current level of consciousness, there is no solution. However, there is instant solution if the human heart opens. There is instant solution with transformation, human heart opening. Like we talked before, the activation of an organ that we haven't been using for a long time. There is solution with unconditional love. Not as a concept, but as a reality. If you learn how to be unconditional loving, if we take ourselves to a different loving platform, then, like someone says, peace starts with me. And I am now participating in the world with a whole different level of consciousness. I can still do some action. I can still help the refugees. I can still help the poor person in the street. But I'm doing it with a pure heart, not with a reaction. So peace starts with me. Peace starts with you, not as a concept. But peace starts with me and with my responsibility as far as shifting platforms, triggering the unconditional love in my heart, looking within. I don't know, there's many concepts and about this whole subject. And it doesn't really matter whether you look within on behalf of Jesus. Jesus come into my heart, that's fine, as long as it's within, right? Or you look within for some, with respect to another concept or with respect to another belief, it doesn't matter. No belief will help unless you got unconditional love in your heart, and that's paying attention within. Once I have that in my own heart, there's huge leverage in this love. That person can affect hundreds, thousands of others, infecting them with unconditional love. As it is, the house is burning. Nothing else but a transformation, a consciousness shift, a platform shift will be helpful.
Yes.
Now the house is burning, and some people come in and say, okay, you know, the house is not really burning. What do you think? Oh, no, I think the house is, no, it's not really burning. It's a matter of philosophy. It's not burning. Okay. And some other firemen would come in and say, okay, hey, before we do anything, let's look out the window and let's understand the secrets of universe. Let's see where we came from, how the planets relate to each other, etc. And once we did that, then we can attend this fire.
Yeah.
There are some who put oil on the fire.
Yeah. Exactly.
You guys are bad because you're Christians. You're Jews, you're Muslims, you're this, you're black, you're white, you're pink, you're gay.
Yeah.
So I'm peaceful, I'm wonderful, but you are the problem, you're gay.
That's right.
So it's putting oil on the fire, in addition to not being the love in your heart.
Right.
And it's not like, okay, I accept you, I accept everybody. It's not like that. I mean, it's much better to say I accept everyone than not, but it has to go beyond the concept of saying I accept everyone.
It's got to be in the heart.
I have to feel it in my heart and be with it, walk with it, act with it, work with it.
Yes.
We cannot go on any longer the way the planet is right now, the way we are behaving with one another, solving all our problems with war.
That's obvious. Yeah. But it's still happening, unfortunately.
It's still happening. In this current platform of reality, there is no solution. The solution is in you as a person, me as a person, take a full responsibility to have love in our hearts and in our approaches to approach the outside world. And really that's where it starts. And then with that open heart, open mind, then we can become active. And perhaps then we can affect policy change. Perhaps something can start and that would entice us to have some sort of an other solution than killing.
Yes. I agree that there has to be another consciousness on the planet for things to change, because it's been going down that line such a long time. It just seems like unfortunately, a long process, I guess like any evolution, it's a long process, but something has to happen.
It's either us human beings will have a huge tragedy of some kind, or individual tragedies. Some kind of a tragedy happens for me to say, oh. And if I stay alive after the tragedy, I will kind of understand in my heart that, oops, I came into a different space. Oh, I'm not thinking as much. I don't have as much hate in my heart. So we're going to get there either by tragedy or simply by personal practice and accepting some of the advanced or beginner spiritual practices. I don't know what words to use, but you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're the current human mind got so screwed up already. We're not trying. Now we're blowing ourselves up. The human mind, because it's a reflection of the human mind. It's like a drunken spider who makes the net, right? Have you ever seen a spider is making the net? But somehow it's got drunk, and instead of making the net, it's got all crumpled up in it. You know, it's got confused, and now it can't go anywhere.
Yes, it's a bit discouraging. You know, we had two major world wars last century, and then a lot of people were really, really shook up.
Yes.
But things are still, it's still going. Things are still, progressing along those lines. It's gotten better apparently, but then you have this, uprise of Donald Trump in the United States. I mean, it's like, wow, where does it come from? It's like, wow, what madness?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
We live in the ultimate madness, and we either voluntarily accept love in our heart, or perhaps we'll be beaten into it.
Wow. Thank you, Gabor. I know it's not an easy question.
No, but it's a very important one, and I appreciate you asking that question. And all the best to you, Pierre.
All the best. Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Gabor, and thank you again, Pierre, for a wonderful question. Yes, it's a sad one, but these issues have to be addressed. In fact, Gabor and I and a dear friend of ours, Robert Ravin, recently made a video about non-duality and social responsibility. And these are some of the topics that we covered as well. So we can't ignore them.
Yes.
As Gabor said, there's only one solution really. And
Yes.
let's hope that people hear this, and it starts with you and me and Gabor and anyone else who hears this and takes this to heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I say one more thing, Nurit?
Yes.
I just want to say that we had our first discussion 6 months ago, and you took, that was about an hour and a half conversation. You clipped it up into 5 questions, and I went on the internet this morning and I saw that so far there's been 3,000 views. So I'm totally overwhelmed that here I'm sitting in Montreal, you guys in Budapest, we're having this conversation, and people from, I guess, all over the planet are watching this. I'm just, I could say, deep gratitude, thank you for all your work, Gabor's work. I know you've got also some great interviews on YouTube with other people, and Anta Kranti, who's my teacher who I Skyped with for last year. There's Prajna Jinti, a whole bunch of other people, Linda Shea, the Dolphin Ambassador. You've got a lot of really great interviews, so I would really encourage anybody to go and check them out. And I know that you've got a book out too, which is next on my reading list, and I think it's called The Blind Leading the Blonde on the Road to Freedom, something like that. I love the title. Anyway, that's next on my reading list. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series of questions and answers. And we are here, like I said, with Pierre Richard from Montreal. I'm Nurit in Budapest. We heard answers from Gabor. And now we're signing off, and God bless.
God bless.